Craft beverage manufacturers can use any number of innovative operating practices and processes that can save energy, gas, water, and toxic chemicals on a daily basis. Bissell Brothers, Maine Beer Company, and Orange Bike Brewing are three examples of breweries that are all pushing the status quo of sustainable efforts in the beverage industry. We hope that these breweries can provide a framework for other beverage manufacturers to replicate their operational practices. Oftentimes, the actions taken by breweries don't come at major cost, but rather rely on new ways of approaching a problem and finding a solution. These breweries take small steps that have a big effect on their efficiencies.
Like breweries take a lot of resources to do what we do and make a product. It's not just 1 gallon of water in, 1 gallon of beer out. We're throwing so much stuff down the drain. So feeling that we have a responsibility to not be wasteful. Like a lot of other breweries, we used to transfer beers from one vessel to another just by pushing with CO2. So we transfer with a pump now exclusively, and what that allows us to do is rather than venting off CO2 and adding more CO2 to the push tank, you're tethering the head pressure of both tanks, and CO2 is, as beer goes into the receiving tank, CO2 comes out of it, and that replaces the headspace in the push tank. So kind of creating like a closed loop where you're just basically like swapping the empty tank and the liquid tank. 20% of the cans that we produce here at Bissell Brothers are labeled. That's a very small percentage compared to other breweries, I'd probably imagine our size. But that sticker going on the aluminum can, all that backing is getting collected and generally thrown in the trash or wish cycled, if you will, if someone's just thrown it in a blue can. But we collect it for local breweries in the area, and we work with the label supplier to get that recycled directly. Been working with this company, Reuser Wraps. Rather than wrapping everything with plastic every single time, especially if pallets stay in-house, we wrap them up with these Reuser Wraps. They're indestructible, they last a really long time. It's a bigger upfront cost, obviously, but it allows us to offset a lot of our plastic usage here. And yeah, they've been great.
So the Blue Crew is made up of every single department over at Maine Beer. We meet every other week to discuss sustainability initiatives on campus and off campus. So we work to educate, we work to curb any sort of waste in the brewery. We kind of come together and we're able to have this forum where we can discuss pretty much everybody's point of view on the subject. We kind of wanted to make this trust of people in the brewery from all different departments, with the idea being that sustainability happens, from the ground up. Like, look at how much we could do with zero budget. Look at all of these low-hanging, cost-effective opportunities to reduce solid waste going to landfill, to improve our side streaming efforts, like little things that are just practical. So projects for us are looking at, what's a simple problem? We currently use a ton of water. Packaging uses arguably the most water of any brewery practices or any brewery departments, and that's usually just to clean. What if we start to recapture our water and bring it back to the external bottle rinser, so that way we're washing the external parts of the bottle with the water that was otherwise used and discarded to wash the inside. And that alone has saved us around 60,000 gallons of water a year, and it's for the low cost of a few hoses, a bucket, and a well pump from Harbor Freight. And so these are like small scale solutions that are like, of course we can put that together. That's easy enough. But if we kind of start to tackle these small issues one at a time, then suddenly we have this whole brewery system that's built around reuse and recapture of natural resources. So we currently compact our cardboard, our plastic wrap, shrink wrap, and grain bags. On top of that, we also side stream pack techs, bottle caps, scrap metal, corks, keg caps, pretty much anything that originates in-house that isn't compostable, we try to have its own separate stream for.
As an organization from day one, we have been committed to continuous improvement. For us, it's one day at a time. What can we do today to make our organization better than it was yesterday? And if you look inside the cooler, this is one of our smallest yet biggest accomplishments that we're really proud of. This is one of the first backyard compostable carriers. We were actually able to find a chemical supplier and cleaning company supplier that allowed us to use refillable containers. It may not seem like a big deal, but to us, instead of buying new plastic every time, we're able to refill this. We're starting to utilize more nitrogen, and they guided us in using this toggle switch that we can flip back and forth between the two. We also invested in a drain trap, which I didn't realize. I assumed it was standard that all breweries would have this, but after meeting with the water department and BetterBev, we realized that not all breweries do.
These 3 breweries represent techniques currently being used and may provide some guidance to lead other beverage manufacturers towards more sustainable practices. Conserving utilities and resources can happen from little efforts that can build to a big impact. Please visit betterbev.org and the EPA's Pollution Prevention Hub to learn more and to start crafting a greener future today.